the Impoundment Control Act of 1974 says that the executive cannot unilaterally withhold congressionally appropriated funds without a rescission or deferral request submitted to Congress. Director, has OMB withheld or delayed the obligation of funds appropriated by this Congress without submitting rescission or deferral notices?
We have fully complied with the Impoundment Control Act. As you probably know, we are not fans of the Impoundment Control Act. We think it's unconstitutional. The president ran against it.
Okay, but you can
However,
answer
we
the
have
question.
complied with it.
Did you withhold congressionally appropriated funds without a rescission or deferral request submitted to Congress? That's yes, right?
Not in violation of the Impoundment Control Act. We have.
Did you ever submit
done
rescission
programmatic
or
reviews
did you ever submit
of various programs
did you ever
across the
submit
government.
rescission or deferral requests to Congress? Have you
We
submitted
submitted a rescissions package last year, and actually two. We continue to do programmatic reviews
to Congress?
of programs. That is not a withholding under the Impoundment Control
Did you
Act.
submit it to Congress?
We don't need to submit. If we're,
you did not.
Congressman, if we're just assessing a program for waste, fraud, and abuse.
I understand you don't think you have to, but I'm just trying to establish you did not, right? You did not.
Well,
correct?
we submitted rescissions bills to Congress last year.
Okay,
Two of them.
but not deferral notices that you were withholding.
They're not deferrals under the Impoundment Control Act.
Okay. The Government Accountability Office has already found that the administration illegally withheld nearly $8 billion in NIH grants, $7 billion for funding to support K-12 public schools nationwide, and hundreds of millions of dollars for Head Start programs across the country. Do you dispute GAO's findings?
Yes. GAO is typically wrong. They're very partisan. They are typically on the exact opposite of wherever the Trump administration is. Unfortunately, I know you all look to them. They are a branch of the legislative body. We have a very different view with regard to the merit of their opinions, and so it's not surprising me that they have a different view on that.
Do you have a legal opinion on that?
We defend to the hilt all of our legal decisions. Most of the time, with regard to GAO, we
Have you
don't have
gotten
to
a
do this.
formal legal opinion on that?
Actually, most of the time, we will put out from OMB a defense in response of any of the GAO. Not always, but we try to be very forward-leaning and articulate because we feel like we have the moral and legal high ground every time we make a decision.
I'm sure you feel like you have the moral and legal high ground. I get that impression. I would just ask Mr. Chairman, for the record, that we add, without objection, if we add the decision from GAO of August 5 and July 23 on Head Start and NIH impoundment.
Without objection, so ordered.
You know, I understand that the GAO is part of the government you don't like. We don't get to decide what parts of the government we follow and we don't. We have laws that are there for a reason, and I guess we should expect that you would abide by those procedures. But you know, whether it's tariffs or the war or the way you've manipulated the budget, the administration just does not want to deal with Congress. And I have to say to my colleagues in general that we've reached a point where if something's not going well in this administration, the response is not, let's do something different. The response is, well, Biden did it worse. It is absolutely irrelevant. Joe Biden is gone. You guys won that election. We don't dispute the results of elections. You won the election. Joe Biden's gone. Our job is today, what do we do in 2026 to make things better? And this budget will not meet that 3% target that we set without aggressive growth assumptions, which I don't think we're going to see. But whether, you know, why are we talking about Joe Biden? Joe Biden's been gone for 2 years. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The other thing I'd suggest is, you know, one of my colleagues, Mr. Smucker, said Democrats don't care about fraud. And I just want to just call that out a little bit because if Mr. Smucker and I sat down together, I think we could have a discussion about fraud. I think we do care about fraud. We want to know what's real fraud and what's not real fraud. But I ask you not to question my motives. Don't say that. I will pledge to you that I will bash your policies. I think you guys are wrong. I think you're wrong, but I don't question your motives. I think everyone in this room is a patriot that wants to do the right thing for the country. And when we make each other our enemies, the Democrats versus the Republicans, this is the weakest that we can create, the weakest situation we can create for this country. When we are really not thinking of ourselves as colleagues, but as enemies who don't care about stuff, I think that's really something we should stay away from. And you know, I think I'm sort of least worried about Mr. Smucker because he's a friend. I know him, but I hear this all the time. Let's not question each other's motives. I think you guys are really wrong on the policy. I don't think that what you're doing is good for kids. But it doesn't mean I don't think you care about kids. I just think you're wrong on the policy. And so maybe if we can get away from questioning each other's motives, we can start to get back to a level of collegiality that maybe we can focus on policies. But it is 2026, folks. It is not 2023. It's not 2024. Joe Biden doesn't matter. okay? It's what matters today is what's going on today. What is this budget committee's job? We are not getting to the 3% target we all agreed to a few weeks ago from the gate. And I'd say that we have a lot of work to do, but
Well, the gentleman is making, some fair and fine remarks, and I have the utmost
Sorry, I
respect
went
for him.
over.
We're over time. I do think that Mr. Smucker's comments were intended to be on record, contrasting on record, not on motive. However that came out, I believe it was about the record, not the motive, but I appreciate your comments.
What made this exchange so important is that it wasn't just another partisan shouting match about budgets. Beneath the tension, Congressman Scott Peters and OMB Director Russell Vought were actually fighting over one of the oldest constitutional battles in American government: who truly controls federal spending, Congress or the President? That may sound technical on the surface, but it goes directly to the heart of how American democracy functions. The Constitution gives Congress the power of the purse. That means lawmakers decide where taxpayer money goes. The executive branch is then supposed to carry out those laws faithfully. But throughout American history, presidents of both parties have sometimes tried to delay, redirect, freeze, or refuse spending authorized by Congress. That's where the Impoundment Control Act of 1974 comes in.